Welcome to Optimal Timelines. I am your guide, Sean Collins, in helping you to connect to your most optimal future timeline. So it's going to be your monthly Tarotscope readings for the month of March 2022. And remember, you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now, if you're new to the channel, the reason I use the North Node in the readings as opposed to your sun sign, moon sign, or ascendant is because it's recognized in astrology that the North Node is your life's purpose, what you were born to do and accomplish in this lifetime. So I find it's much more relevant across the board for people's lives. So let's get started on the readings. Okay, so this is going to be your monthly tarot reading for March 2022 for everybody with their North Node in Libra and or the 7th house. So I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, the spread on this side of the table represents everything from the first half of the month, from the 1st to the 15th, and then this side represents the 16th to the end of the month. And I did something just like I did last month, which was a book divination using the great North Node book, Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller. And what came up for you North Nodes in the 7th house and or Libra was listening and sensitivity. That's the theme that kind of came up. What I'm seeing for you right now in your life, a lot of you have been assessing current and past relationships, romantic, family relationships, friends, and also like work and career relationships. And a lot of I'm seeing there could be some confusion of why certain relationships went, the way they did, okay? And I'm seeing it at like different levels, and specifically I'm seeing like right now, many of you may have be thinking about actual specific people in your lifetime, either past or present, and how, this has all played out. And one of the things that is really important to remember is one of your superpowers, having your South Node in Aries or the 1st house, is you have this wonderful natural leadership ability and natural like warrior type energy. But one of the things that comes with that is, remember, when we're coming in this lifetime, we're moving toward our North Node and learning those things, and we're not relying on our past lives, and experiences, which is found in our South Node and our Pluto placement also. But we're not really focusing on that in this life. So you have that ability, but one of the things that comes to that, think of like a drill sergeant or a very tough teacher, or a very like a strict coach, drill sergeant, even like a maybe a parental figure, but one who's like super tough. One of the things about that is, it can drive people to excellence. Like when we see these characters in life, there's a time when that's needed. But what ends up happening with that South Node in Aries that you have is, remember, you're moving toward a equal partnership with others. You're working toward, equality, and you're not supposed to necessarily take that role of, you know, that strict teacher or tough, drill sergeant, because, that's why listening and sensitivity came up. That's part of the reason why a lot of you might have had difficult relationships, because your natural inclination, having that South Node in Aries, is, you see things from a very, black and white kind of point of view, which is necessary when you are in a situation where people need a hero to rise up. There's no like, what do you think I should do? Or, it's like, no, it's like you take action, you take decisive action. And so that has its place in life. But what ends up happening in relationships is sometimes that carries over into relationships where, when you're talking to a very, tough coach or drill sergeant, they're not sitting there debating with the person that they're trying to train or teach. It's like they're laying it out. This is the way it is, and there's no questioning it, And so that kind of energy comes like natural. It's not natural. It comes natural for North Nodes in Libra because of that South Node in Aries of the first house. So what's really wanting to come up for you is that when you run into a difficult situation, and I think that this month, the first half of the month, there's going to be opportunities for you to do that. So I'll give you a really quick scenario. Let's say that you are dealing with a situation or a person or people, and you see things one way and they see things the other way. What you have to ask yourself is, can I really listen to and understand what they're saying or where they're coming from? Can I develop a sensitivity to taking their feelings, their thoughts and feelings into account? And that doesn't mean that you have to give in to everybody or every situation. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that, can you at least really listen to what they're doing, and can you be honest if, there's a time when maybe, the other person is right. Quick story. So many years ago, I was dealing with a person in my life close to me, and I realized that throughout the years we had been interacting, this person had never ever admitted that they were wrong. And we were having a discussion one day. It was, an argument, and I simply said, I go, do you realize that you've never been wrong about anything? And the person stopped, and they like, I could see that it was like, it hit them like a ton of bricks. Like, when you think about it, like when you go throughout your life, you ask yourself, okay, when have I ever been wrong about something? And if you're not wrong about very many things, or if you can't think of when you've admitted like you were wrong about something and you've changed your mind or allowed the other person to kind of like win, that's a problem, because if that's happened, that means you're a perfect person, and I'd like to know your secret, So at some point, you know what I mean? Like, we all, of course, it's a difficult thing to admit when we're wrong, but part of that is, okay, it's difficult for all of us, but especially for, this North Node placement, and because the first house rules the self, the identity, the ego. The Aries is that, and it's important to have that. It's important to have self-esteem and personal power and all of that. It's important, but as I said, there's a balance in everything. So when this first half of the month, when something comes up, when you are faced with opposing positions, opposing views, just try to see it from the other person's point of view. You can also go back, because what I'm seeing is you've been replaying the past few months a lot of older relationships, and you may tell yourself certain stories about, I don't know what it is for you personally of why it happened. I mean, some people you might just blow it off like, well, it's them, but you can review old relationships and go back and try to see it from the other person's vantage point and point of view. Was this situation, did it make sense from where they were coming from? And like I said, this could be personal relationships, family, friends, a job situation. But what you see with this placement with the North Node in Libra or the 7th house is you see sometimes a lot of blown up relationships in the past, okay? And that's something that's very common with this placement. So if you've had that, simply go back and say, and if you can say, if you find out that, okay, I was wrong about that. Don't let it, it's not that, you are a horrible person. You don't, bottom line is, this world recognizes strength, okay? But it recognizes like solar strength, yin yang energy, masculine. That's what this world, go getter, okay? But I can tell you this, there is way more strength in being able to say, I forgive you, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That takes way more strength than just fighting for a position, just to win, okay? That's a really like a key thing in your life. And this kind of stuff, especially for you North Nodes in Libra in the 7th house, it's not easy. Okay, I know some people, and I have a few placements that are similar to this. Okay, and so it's not easy. But when you do that, what you're doing is you are opening up your life to feeling the love and connection that you desire deep down. And that's what this first half of the month. Review old relationships, look at what's going on currently. Can you see, and if you find, for example, there's someone in your past that, you look at it again, maybe from a higher viewpoint, a more, mature viewpoint, and you realize, I was wrong about that or whatever. If you can, it's even more powerful to tell that person. Like, don't only hold it to yourself. If you can, tell that person. And when you run across that in your life, and when you stop yourself, and because when you run into an opposition with this placement, the first inclination is pick up your arms. You're gonna defend yourself. Okay, that's a natural inclination. Okay, natural inclination for this placement. But if you find yourself doing that, lay down the arms. Okay, and try to see it from their standpoint. This, I cannot stress enough. It can literally transform your life into a lot of happiness. Okay. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, this is some pretty intense stuff, but when you do this, it can be a complete game changer. Now, moving on to the second half of the month, I am seeing again, there's opportunities, but there's going to be some specific opportunities in the second half of the month. There is a situation where you feel you have been wronged by somebody, and that, you see this thing that was happened to you that was like unfair. And it's a situation, and it could even, it's either a past situation or it could happen where you feel like you've been kind of taken advantage of or duped, and it's like you felt like maybe you let down your guard on this, and so that just brings in that kind of warrior defensiveness energy, even more so. Here's the thing. This is where it's really important to do this. And I'm seeing a thing of where this could escalate and get out of hand to where it could turn like not so nice. So it's super important to look at this situation and you feel like you've been taken advantage of, and again, try to look at it from their standpoint. I do see also it has something to do with possible like some sort of substances could be involved. Not necessarily addiction, but like some sort of substances. So maybe something was said when people were drinking, or something of that sort. But there's this balancing that has to go back, and this may be something in the past that has to be cleaned up. That was something that you just felt was very unfair. Again, just try to see it from that other person's standpoint. Part of that is when you open up yourself to listening, truly listening to the other person, because right away you're gonna make your stance inside you. But if you can be open to like listening and being sensitive of like you putting yourself in their position, it will go a long way. See, here's the thing. For you in this lifetime, for you to have your happiest life, it's relationships in all aspects: work, family, friends, romance. Okay, and that is it takes work, because the other person who's involved in that relationship, or the other people, have their own personal needs, thoughts, and desires. Okay. And so it's this huge balancing act, but this is what it's about for you in this lifetime, for you to experience true happiness, going through the discomfort of having to open up to other people's ideas, open up to, admitting when maybe, the other person might be right. All of those things are really uncomfortable. But what you're doing when you do that is you have no idea the amount of happiness that will flood in. I challenge you, just do this with one person or situation in your life where you see things and can admit that, maybe that person has a point and they were right. And then let them know. And you will see within a very short period of time how you will get a lot of blessings from the universe. This stuff isn't easy. This is kind of, some intense stuff, but like this beginning of the year, a lot of the North nodes are really kind of going through these tests. But once those tests are passed, really like the floodgates of a lot of good things are going to come in. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you. It was some, pretty intense. Thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you can, hit that like button. Much appreciation, much love, and we'll see you again on some more videos. Many blessings.